Right, so I've now done my production, finished it all, went really well. There was a few hiccups, but you expect that, I guess. One in particular that stood out for me was one of the scenes that I was in with Sylvia. Is it Sylvia? Yeah, I think so. Is it Sylvia? Don't really know. Yes, I do. It wasn't Sylvia Hollanby. It was, what's her name? The second, God, I can't believe I forgot.
Helen.
Huh?
Helen?
Helen. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was the scene with Helen when we were here. In that scene, we come on stage and me and Polly, which is the person that was playing Helen, just a lovely girl. We were going through our lines before, and she maybe had not had as much rehearsal time as we had needed together. We hadn't really gone through it as much. The second Helen, Emily, this scene, it went really well. It just went smoothly, but we just had this one with Polly and we got out there and it just didn't seem right. And the whole stage mechanics of it was just all off, and we ended up mucking up a few of the lines, and then I had to go back into something that I had already said to get back into the actual lines, because we were just going off on a random tangent. But we managed to pull it in and impro it as much as physically possible. The audience didn't seem, well, the audience, you could tell they noticed, but they didn't really like show us. You could tell that they knew that something was up. But we still got a round of applause after, like they could see that we had pushed through. But yeah, it was just, I think, how we came onto stage. We were both talking about it too much before. It just put too much like stress on us before we came out. And we came out and it just didn't go well. But you get some scenes like that. However, we came back and did our last show, and the last show that we did, I was with Polly again, and we didn't have any mistakes at all. I learnt from the fact that we had been going through it before, and we didn't bash the lines. We went through the lines before the actual production rather than reading them while it's going on, to keep on topping ourselves up to make sure we remembered it. It just meant that we overdid it too much, and then we just panicked. So instead we just kept calm, went through it before, make sure we were happy with it. And we went out and we smashed it. We had the right stage directions. She was seated. In the first one, she didn't get up when she needed to, which put the whole levels off for how we were meant to be having an argument, and it just made it kind of as if it wasn't really aggressive at all. It wasn't really believable. But then we had the next scene the next day, and we went up and we did it, and we got both in each other's faces, and it was really heated, and I think it was believable. The audience loved it when we actually kicked off. We had a nice round of applause after that. It was a good scene. I enjoyed it. Overall, I think maybe we should have put slightly more time into stuff like the choreography. As a whole, we did do a lot, but it was left last minute. I think maybe slightly more time on set and stuff like that. But we had so much going on because we had the Seussical, which was before the Seussical performance, and it was very close to the Bad Girls. I think it was quite within itself, and we'd just finished Medea as well. We had quite a few performances running up to it quite close, which meant that felt a little rushed, but that was also my fault as well for not coming to all of the rehearsals, but that was for other reasons.
What about your character, the progression of your character throughout the piece?
Yeah, at the beginning of the piece, the first actual initial idea you get of him, he just kind of walks into the situation where everything's going a bit mad and everyone's kind of, you getting an idea of all the characters and everyone seems all a bit edgy, and the officers all seem like against each other and kind of like a bit of banter going on and stuff like that, and then I've got to come in dead serious and have a serious one-to-one conversation, and I bring down the tone straight away because everyone's all bubbly and stuff, and the one line which is just remember, in a prison there's two types of people, us and them. It's like saying we are all together but they will stab you in the back. Like, if it comes down to it, it's them and you, two different types of people in one place. Is obviously going to be madness. So I think from the first actual scene you see number one, I think you get like the idea that he is an influential character on it, but throughout the piece more and more you see him, the less and less he seems to do, and he seems to be more on the officer's side to the prisoners, obviously, because he even says in the beginning it's them and us, and he sticks up for Jim, and he's like, Jim, we've got to go to a tribunal, this is all going downhill and everything, and Helen's gonna take your job and everything, and he's like actually worried for Jim. He's like, oh, I hope it's not you, but let's be honest, mate, it's not going to be me because I'm at the top and I've watched it and I haven't actually done anything, because he doesn't really do anything, number one. He just shouts a little bit, doesn't, just calms everyone down that little bit, and then it just aggravates them more. He's just your typical stern but not very listened to old man that's been in the business for far too long but has worked his way up.
So how did you get that across with your voice? And so you say it was an old stern man, so how did you have to sort of adapt your voice to get that sort of character?
Well, you'd put on like a posher tone, so well I did. So I'd be like, Miss Helen Stewart, I was hoping to perform. Miss Helen Stewart, I was hoping to inform you of your probationary period, though without instance has been deemed a success. Congratulations. Like holding the lines, making it slightly more like a proper tone. So it was more of an influential, talking down to people rather than talking to them as if they're his equal. He kind of like, he knows that he's the boss and he lets them know, but when it actually comes down to it, he doesn't do anything, really. Just lets all the authorities take the place, and then at the end he makes himself seem like the good guy by giving all the results and stuff. But really he's just much as a snake in the grass as all the rest of them. That's what I think, personally, about that character. Yeah.
Okay.